last year, the legislature passed a law for an independent review of Minnesota's driver and vehicle services. The final report offers 31 recommendations for improvements for deputy registrars, exam stations, and driver and vehicle services. Lawmakers applauded the report at a recent press conference.
You'll see that one of the things that we focus on quite a bit is the customer. And in this case, the customer is the citizen, the resident of Minnesota.
When we ultimately look at this report and begin putting together bills regarding the legislative recommendations, I have a hunch that Chair Hornstein and I will be able to come to an accommodation.
These deputy registers are doing way more input than they did before, and that's why I believe we have to look at these fees. This is a huge step. It's a very bipartisan issue that we should easily take care of this session. We've been waiting on this report to look at fees, so I think this is the year we got to get that done for our deputy registers.
If we don't, do something to, provide greater financial assistance to these DR offices, we're going to be dropping. They're going to be dropping like flies. We're going to be losing more like we lost in Bloomington at a time when we need their capacity in order to get through the real ID crunch that is once again looming.
The better you serve the customer, the more successful you're going to be. And so I think this is an example of how government needs to start understanding that we need to be responsive to the customer. In this case, it's the constituent, the taxpayer.
Joining me is the chair of the Senate Transportation Committee, Senator Scott Newman. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
What exactly prompted you and your House counterpart, Representative Frank Hornstein, to call for this independent review?
In dealing with the bill last year at the very end of session, Chair Hornstein and I recognized that there was a great deal of disagreement, shall we say, between the deputy registrars in particular and the Department of Public Safety. And I have been concerned for a couple of years now that we spent lots of money on the new MnDrive system and scrapped the old MnLARS system. And we've spent lots of money on it. At the same time that we've made that investment, we have the deputy registrar saying, we're going broke, you have to give us a fee increase. At the same time, DPS says, we need more in the way of appropriations and more staff in order to handle this new program. In my mind, something has to give. I mean, we should be seeing a saving someplace. Consequently, Chair Hornstein and I talked about this. We agreed. We were very successful with the independent expert review on MnLARS, led by Mr. King, who did this report also. So let's turn to Mr. King again and see if he will help the people in Minnesota solve this riddle. And that's what prompted it.
And so what do you expect the impact of this review will be? Will legislation come out of this coming session based on the recommendations? What does it mean for the people of Minnesota?
I think this report is going to be more impactful, more meaningful to them than the MnLARS report was, because that's kind of abstract. People didn't really know or understand the computer program. This is going to impact their lives directly, because we are talking about they're getting their driver's licenses and their tabs on their motor vehicles and so forth. And so I think that this report is really going to be important to them personally, and it's going to impact their lives directly because it concentrates on customer service by a state agency for people in the state of Minnesota. And consequently, I think this is really an important report for them. And I would urge people to take a look at it. I really would.
And we will list where to find it at the end. Let's talk about some of the recommendations specifically, and we'll start with deputy registrars. The report calls deputy registrars a key component of providing driver and vehicle services in Minnesota. And you mentioned MnLARS, the failed system, and it's been replaced by MnDrive. But what I read in the report, as I understand it, is that for deputy registrars, this MnDrive system is much more time intensive. And so the fee structure that is currently in use is not covering the amount of time that it's taking. So one of the recommendations is for a change in the fee structure. Is that something that you will look into this session?
Absolutely, we're going to look at that. And I think it's a good recommendation. The amount of work required of deputy registrars to complete a transaction was much greater under the MinDrive system than it was under MinLars. And consequently, these are some independent businesses, some run by counties and cities, but they have to be able to make a profit, they have to be able to break even, and they're not. Consequently, I think the notion of increasing the fees for the deputy registrars, the amount of which I don't know yet, is a good idea. But at the same time, we have to recognize that if you read the letter from Commissioner Harrington, they're asking for more money and more staff. And we're going to come right back to that argument that I had before, is that something has to give here. I think DPS is going to have to become more efficient, and I think that the deputy registrars have to have a pay raise. They just have to have it, or we will lose them. And deputy registrars throughout the state of Minnesota are integral in getting our driver's licenses and our license tabs for our motor vehicles.
One thing that's been in the news is the wait time for people trying to get driving exams. The state had 93 stations across the state that you could do your exams at. COVID changed that. The Department of Public Safety says that they will go back to 93 by the end of this month, but the report suggests an optimal range of 40 to 50 exam stations. Does that make sense to you? Would that still allow access all across the state?
If Mr. King and his group say it's a good idea, it probably is, because keep in mind this is an independent expert review. And Mr. King and his crew have got a great deal of credibility with the legislature. And candidly, I think with the governor's office. So DPS agreed to go back to 93 because the legislature scolded them. They took down and reduced the number of exam stations to, I think it was 15 throughout the state of Minnesota, which created this backlog. It was unacceptable. It was absolutely unacceptable. We forced them to reopen all of their 93 exam stations, but they didn't like it. Now, just because we did that doesn't mean that we can't look at the new program. And in my mind, if 40 to 50 stations, properly staffed, properly run, will provide the service to the people in the state of Minnesota, then that's what we should be doing. And I will promise the people in the state of Minnesota that I'm going to look very hard at the recommendations from Mr. King and his group, because the old saying, if you're not going to listen to me, you're wasting my time and your money.
One other recommendation that caught my eye was changing the length of time before a person has to renew their driver's license. And I think this is a potential cost saver. But I looked at the website for the Insurance Information Institute, and I was surprised to learn that Arizona and Montana, their driver's licenses are good for 12 years. Many states, the majority of states, range from 5 to 8. Minnesota is only one of 6 that's just 4 years every year to renew the driver's license. So is it likely that maybe Minnesota would make that change, and then I'd have to live with my horrible driver's license picture that much longer and potentially have it cost more because, it's lasting a longer period of time? What are your thoughts on that?
Everybody dislikes their driver's license photo, so you're not unique in that. It isn't going to be a cost saver to people in Minnesota because it probably cost them the same amount of money for the same period of time, but it would save them the necessity of trying to renew their driver's license. We're talking about going from 4 to 8 years with our unacceptable pictures on our, but keep in mind your passport picture is good for 10 years. And what Mr. King was looking for was customer service. What can we do to reduce the hassle for people? And we can do something like this without it costing us any money, save some people some time and hassle, and make their lives a little easier. That's all it amounts to. I would expect that we would be taking a real hard look at that.
One more quick question before we go. I think most of us now are getting more used to doing business online, on our phones, in self-service kiosks. Is that a direction that driver and vehicle services should be headed towards into the future, just for convenience and cost saving?
Most certainly they should be, and I believe that they will. The one thing you have to be a little bit careful of when you talk about online information, your privacy is pretty important. And so now you get into data privacy. It's something that we will have to solve. But having said that, yes, the convenience for people to go online or go to a kiosk and just, get their driver's license renewed or buy their tabs, I think it's really important, and I think the people in Minnesota will really appreciate it, and that is one of the recommendations in the report.
Senator Scott Newman, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Bye now.